we got a few pretty new bikes this year. The Evil Calling kind of really barely exists. And it's a new bike from them. It's a 130 mil rear, 140 front, 27.5 inch wheel bicycle. What'd you guys think?
To me, it felt like a miniature little downhill / all mountain bike. It's extremely low and slack and very plush. The suspension felt really supple and balanced front and rear. I was running about 30% in the rear and 20% in the pike fork, and it just ate up every single rock up and down.
So this is the Delta Link rear suspension.
Yeah.
The whole cornerstone of the Delta is its complicated leverage curves. A little deeper in the sag, it ramps up a little bit. At the very end, it ramps up a little bit more. So you have this nice platform to push against, and then a really nice bottom out resistance later at the end. So it kind of feels bottomless.
This bike made me want to do bad things. We're riding this sort of Chundry no-flow, Evil's Calling, this Chundry no-flow zone of just stuff where the last few days I've just been trying to pick my way from being bounced off of one rock to the next. And this kind of I was like, you lean it into these turns and not really care. And if you were on the wrong line, you could move it. But even if you were, the suspension was it's cool, we got this.
Testing the bike, I said, okay, I got my suspension dialed for descending and cornering and on rough terrain. But then, and I was a little concerned because the seat tube appears to be a little slack. And I was like, so then I thought, man, this thing might wheelie when I'm trying to get on the pedals uphill. And other than extremely the steep parts, I didn't. I was able to, never front end didn't wander, just motor right through the Chundry sharp rocks.
The seat tube's not that slack though.
Oh.
So this has two positions, right? Low and lower.
Yeah.
So in the low position, it's 74.8 degrees, which is really steep. That's pushing some of the steepest seat angles we got out here. In the lower, it's still really steep at 74.2. It's a super slack front, but it's got really nice pedaling position.
Right, yeah, those numbers, that they're on the steep side, but visually, that was my initial impression. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right, and then so I was surprised. Obviously, I felt those steep numbers when I was riding.
It has cutting edge geometry. It has that relatively steep seat angle. The head angle on it is in the low setting, not the extra low. It is 66.4 degrees. You can get it down to 65.8 degrees on a 130, 140 mil travel bike. I mean, it really, this bike is in, its evil intentions are to pull you in over your head.
And it's long and low, but at the same time, it feels like that when you want it to, like you expect those kind of bikes to handle, but it's still really fun to ride. It's really easy to move it around off. If you get off your line, you can just pull it into a new line. Whereas a lot of other bikes riding that sort of terrain, especially that kind of geometry, you're kind of committed.
That's what makes this 130 mil platform such a great addition to Evil's lineup. This thing wants you to go for the little extra credit jump line, or to go for drops and be able to do it a little more precisely. And it's something that you would get this bike to have fun with. So the rear shock is pretty cool. It's a RockShox Super Deluxe. It's another cool thing. This bike has room for a piggyback rear shock and gives you one. And it's a trunnion mount rear shock. What is a trunnion mount, the whole world asks?
It's a small fish, right?
Yes, yeah. I thought it was a pirate thing. I don't know. It's basically, instead of having the eyelet mount above the shock can, it's kind of on either side of it on the top, and that gives you room for a larger volume shock in a shorter amount of space. On this bike, that means you can have a water bottle mount.
Right.
I mean, and just have again, another great thing about the Evil, all of the chunky bits are nice and low and together on the bike. It makes it feel a lot lighter underfoot.
Super nice center of gravity to it. Yeah. Is there anything you didn't like about it?
It's getting nitpicky, but the grips that it comes with, it's a disposable part of the bike. You can, in a few months you can get rid of them, but those are just not exactly comfortable, let's just say.
For me, one of my biggest pet peeves ever is flexi frames. And this bike's waggly.
You thought so?
I totally thought so. I could feel, you could get it kind of twanging between the top tube and the seat tube a little bit, or the head tube and the seat tube, and the rear triangle, if you stood up and stomped on it hard, it would kind of weep, 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 the rear wheel would move around a bit. Didn't even care.
Yeah.
In fact, if anything, on a lot of that just like of rocks and roots that we were in, it may have helped.
Right.
I really
One wheel over here, one wheel over here.
could have cared less.
In addition to the ride qualities, which we all seem to really appreciate, it's got top shelf spec, including the Eagle X01 drivetrain. And for that premium suspension and drivetrain, you're looking at about $68.99 for the complete bike, and the frame is also available for $28.99.
They have a lower price version coming out soon, so we'll be seeing that. But still, $68.99. Take my money.
Dang.
Yep.
Ape expensive.
Take it. Take all of it.
Sounds like you guys will be fighting over this one tomorrow.
Damn, I love riding this bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.